Have you ever been in a conversation where someone starts using automotive jargon, such as front-wheel drivetrain or 300 horsepower turbocharged engine, and you just nod along as if you fully understand? Yes, everyone has been there. If you don't speak the language of the automotive industry, things can quickly become very complex. You're in the correct spot, though, so don't worry. Welcome to CarWave, where we simplify, enjoy, and simplify vehicles. We're going to dissect those challenging vehicle spins today. What is CC exactly? Why is horsepower so important to humans? And what does RPM mean? You'll understand all of these terms and more by the end of this video, so you won't ever feel lost in a car talk again. And this won't be one of those dull, convoluted explanations, I promise. We're keeping things easy, entertaining, and direct. You'll understand it even if you've never opened a car hood. So fasten your seatbelt, settle in, and let's go. Now, before we go into the technical details, let's discuss certain car body shapes that are a little more obvious. Let's face it, everyone has a friend who refers to every car as a sedan. The agreement is as follows. There are several shapes for cars, and those shapes are important. Sedans, the traditional four-door vehicle with a trunk, are similar to sedans, but they are often sportier and have just two doors. SUVs come next, larger, taller, and ideal for off-roading or families. Hatchbacks. Imagine a little car with a rear window that opens to reveal the trunk. Vehicles for pickup. Simply said, they are designed to transport wagons and other items. It resembles a hybrid of an SUV and a car. More room, but not as much as an SUV. Naturally, we also need to consider hyper and supercars. These vehicles are more than just quick. These are the crazy, high-performance devices that, simply by looking at them, make your heart race. You'll know better the next time someone refers to an SUV, a Jeep, or a Coupe sports vehicle. Let's discuss each car's heart. When the engine looked at a car specification sheet, it was like reading a foreign language. 2.0-liter, four-cylinder engine with 250 newton-meters of torque and 180 horsepower. What on earth is that? I'm going to simplify it, so fasten your seatbelt. First, let's talk about cc, or cubic centimeters. It's simply a fancy method of expressing the size of your engine. Consider it similar to Coke bottles. A 3.0-liter engine is comparable to a 1.0-liter bottle. That's a significant one. An engine typically has greater power the larger it is. But when it comes to horsepower, size isn't everything. Speed is the key to horsepower. Imagine your car being pulled by horses. One horse doing the job is equivalent to 1 horsepower. With 200 horsepower, you have 200 horsepower beneath your hood. That sounds awesome, doesn't it? But you can't move with just power. You must have the force behind it. Torque is useful in this situation. Your engine's torque is its muscle. If horsepower is your car's maximum speed, torque is what propels it forward. Have you ever witnessed a fast-moving sports car? That is an example of high torque in action. Additionally, trucks have a lot of torque since it enables them to carry large loads without exerting any effort. Let's now discuss rotations per minute, or RPM. In short, this indicates the speed at which your engine is operating. Have you ever heard your engine growl when you push the gas? The reason for this is that the RPM is rising. RPM often translates into more power, but it also indicates that more fuel is burnt. Therefore, controlling your RPM is a smart idea unless you enjoy frequent excursions to the petrol station. This is where things become even more intriguing. Engines with turbocharging. An engine often takes in air on its own, just like you would when jogging. However, a turbocharged engine is similar to jogging, while someone forces extra air into your face with a massive leaf blower. You may increase power without enlarging the engine because more air allows more fuel to burn. Because of this, a little turbocharged engine can occasionally be just as powerful as a larger one. A brief summary. Your engine size is cc. Horsepower is the speed at which it can move. The force with which it may pull is called torque. Turbocharging is similar to giving your engine a covert energy boost. RPM is the amount of work it is putting in. You'll understand exactly what it means the next time you look at a car spec sheet. Okay, so you now understand what gives an automobile its power. cc torque and horsepower. Turbocharging at RPM. The problem is that if the power doesn't reach the wheels correctly, it's all in vain. And that's where the drivetrain and transmission are located. Enter. Consider your engine as a muscle. It produces electricity. However, all that strength is useless if you don't use proper form, just like in a gym. The best possible power transfer from your engine to the wheels is ensured by the transmission. So let's dissect it, beginning with the two primary categories of transmissions, automatic and manual. And understand that it's not simply about which one makes you cooler. The traditional method of driving is with a manual gearbox. You change gears on your own. In addition to giving you more control over the vehicle and making driving more enjoyable, using a clutch pedal and gear stick typically makes you appear skilled. Because you have to change gears all the time, especially in traffic, it also entails extra effort. This is for you if you enjoy working out your right hand and left foot. Conversely, an automatic transmission handles all of the gear shifting. No shifting, no clutch. Simply hit the gas and leave. It's simpler, more seamless, and ideal for stop-and-go traffic. For this reason, the majority of contemporary vehicles are automated. Here's the twist, though. Automatics are not all created equal. There is the conventional automatic, which smoothly shifts gears using a torque converter. CVTs are another option, or continuously variable transmissions, which have no set gears at all. Like a sliding scale, they simply smoothly modify power. Dual clutch transmissions, or DCTs, are another option. These are ideal for sports cars since they shift quite quickly. Therefore, if you ever see an advertisement for an automobile that boasts about its quick shifting, DCT, you understand why now. Okay, so the transmission determines how and where power is transmitted. That's all about the drivetrain, so don't worry if you've ever heard terminology like four-wheel drive or RWD, FWD, AWD, and simply nodded as if you understood. The majority of common cars use front-wheel drive, or FWD. This indicates that just the front wheels receive power from the engine. It functions well under typical driving circumstances and is less expensive to make more fuel efficient. However, torque steer is evident if you've ever floored it in a car with front-wheel drive and felt the steering wheel go crazy. RWD rear-wheel drive is another option. It pushes the car from behind rather than pushing it from the front. Sports, cars, and performance vehicles love RWD because it improves handling and balance, even in the rain or snow. Traction can be a challenge without weight over the back wheels, so good luck. A WD all-wheel drive is another option. It's like having the best of both worlds. When necessary, it automatically transfers power to all four wheels, improving your traction in slick conditions. A WD is more common in SUVs and performance cars because of this, but it is also heavier and uses less fuel. Thus, there is a trade-off. Lastly, 4WD four-wheel drive is available. This is the rougher, tougher relative of advertisements. When engaged, it distributes power equally to all four wheels. making it ideal for extreme off-roading. This is for you if you enjoy driving your truck up mountains. A brief summary: whereas FWD, RWD, AWD, and 4WD determine where the power goes, manual versus automatic gear changes determine how you shift gears. Now that we understand power and how it reaches the wheels, it's time to talk about something just as important: braking and handling. Because speed means nothing if you can't stop safely or keep control. When you press the brake pedal, a lot happens behind the scenes. Systems like ABS, anti-lock braking system, prevent the wheels from locking up, helping you stay in control during hard braking. That vibration you feel? That's ABS doing its job. Brakes can also lose effectiveness when they overheat, a problem known as brake fade. That's why many modern and performance cars use ventilated disc brakes, which cool faster and work more consistently. Some cars still use drum brakes in the rear. They're affordable, but not as effective under heavy use. Finally, handling matters just as much as stopping. Features like traction control and stability control help prevent skids and loss of control, especially in slippery conditions. They quietly step in when you need them most, keeping you safe and steady on the road. When you make a turn too quickly, or when the roads get slick. When you accelerate, traction control keeps your wheels from spinning excessively. Traction control, which prevents your wheels from just spinning in place, is what you've experienced if you've ever stomped on wet pavement and had your car hesitate. Stability control is another. Consider it the angel of protection for your vehicle. The automobile automatically applies brakes to individual wheels to assist you stay on course if it begins to skid. When there is an emergency and you don't have time to respond, this is very helpful. Since 2012, stability control has really been mandated for all new cars in the United States. Therefore, you already have this covert safety net keeping an eye on you if you drive a recent car. Let's review now. Your wheels are prevented from locking up by ABS. When your brakes overheat, brake fade occurs. Drum brakes are inferior to disc brakes. Stability control keeps you from spinning out, while traction control stops your wheels from spinning. Now that we've discussed halting in time and power control, here's the big question. How can you prevent your automobile from becoming a money-eating, gas-guzzling machine? Fuel costs aren't exactly our greatest buddies, let's face it. In order to maintain your automobile operating properly and save a significant amount of money, let's discuss fuel efficiency and the fundamentals of maintenance. MPG, or miles per gallon, comes first. This figure indicates the distance your vehicle can travel on a gallon of gas. You're spending less at the pump if the figure is greater. Easy, huh? Here's the problem, though. Yes, that official MPG on the sticker of your vehicle, under ideal circumstances, that is. In the actual world, there are flat roads, no traffic, and no air conditioners running non-stop. The way you drive determines your real MPG. This leads us to a few straightforward fuel-saving practices that are initially easy on the gas pedal. It may seem great to floor it at every green light, but it consumes a lot of gas. Instead, smoothly accelerate. Secondly, avoid speeding. As if you're in a frenzy. Around 50 to 60 miles per hour is when most cars reach their peak fuel efficiency. If you drive faster, you're simply wasting fuel. Thirdly, check the pressure in your tires. Reduced tire pressure results in increased resistance, which is worse. MPG. Oh, and get rid of the extra weight. It's time to clear out your trunk if it contains enough trash to launch a garage sale. However, if you want your automobile to last, maintaining its condition is more important than just saving fuel. Don't worry, you just need to keep up with simple maintenance. I'm referring about the little things that have a big impact, not overhauling an engine. First and foremost, Oil changes your engine. Over time, oil is essentially its lifeblood. It becomes thick, filthy, and detrimental to your car. Follow the timetable specified in your owner's manual. Your engine will appreciate it if you do this every 5,000 to 7,500 miles. Air filters come in second. It's like trying to breathe through a straw when your air filter is blocked. A clean air filter is the third factor that improves performance and MPG since your engine needs air to burn gasoline effectively. Worn-out brake pads. There is more to brake pads than just that awful squeaking sound. They also make it more difficult to stop your car. Before it's too late, have your brakes examined if they feel spongy or make strange noises. Lastly, make sure your battery is working. The worst surprise, particularly when you're running late, is a dead battery. Most car batteries last 3 to 5 years, so if yours is getting old, replacing it early can save you from getting stranded. And that's it. You've gone from guessing car terms to actually understanding them. Now, when you hear things like RPM, AWD, or brake fade, you won't just nod along. You'll know exactly what they mean. If this helped, drop a like. Share it with someone who still thinks MPG means more pizza, guys, and subscribe for more simple, easy-to-understand car tips coming soon. Drive carefully until the next time. Keep your automobile content. Additionally, keep in mind that if something begins to make strange noises, get it checked rather than merely turning up the music.